It's funny because as Richie and I meet for another edition of Fourth and Forever, the NFL owners are currently meeting as we speak. Exact same time, exact timeline here, folks. And the game that we love may be changing, at least from a rule perspective, seeding perspective, perhaps, and whether or not the quality of talent in the NFL can represent the United States of America, red, cold blooded Americans in the Summer Olympics game in 2028. And I feel like today's show is probably going to be largely focused on this meeting, plus some other stories that came across our timelines prior to beginning. And we're very excited that each and every single one of you have decided to join us. Please smash that like button. It's the easiest way to show love over here. And when you subscribe, make sure you turn on bell notifications so you never miss an episode. Richie, talk to me. How's life?
Life is great. I feel like every single time there's a member missing on the show, we always have to tell them why. TD Finns talk, wondering, where's TD? Everyone's like, what? Where's TD? TD's power's out, so he won't be joining us. Good excuse, right, TD? No, but yeah, TD's fine. He won't be with us today, but he'll be with us tomorrow and for tomorrow night's epic AFC East Roundtable show. But I'm doing great, Dan. It's another beautiful day. My Knicks are ready to start off the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night. So I'm just feeling great. I had a great cup of coffee from my local coffee shop.
Yo, what's it called?
Kookaburra. It's nice.
Okay, how many locations do they have?
That's a local small little one.
Okay.
But if you're looking for, I know what you're thinking about. I do have another one that you can think of that's bigger and has multiple. But yeah, it was great, man. I brought it here. I poured it in a coffee mug.
Nice.
It was great, man. I usually get their cold brew, but I'm like, nah, I'm thinking of a hot coffee today from there. Never had their hot coffee, dark roast, black. Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
It's great, and I'm feeling awesome off of it.
It's funny because when it comes into coffee for me, it's totally backwards. For some reason, during the winter, I love a good cold brew and I love a good iced coffee. But during like the heat of summer, like Florida summer, I'm sitting here and I'm
Black coffee.
throwing back
hot.
some piping hot black coffee. I don't know why. I mean, maybe my body is just a glutton for punishment, but nah, man. I mean, I'm a big coffee guy. I'm still
We
trying
gotta
to
get a
put you on
coffee
that-
brand deal, bro. Like,
dude.
I want to
do.
be promoting coffee on this show. I want to be like
Dude,
selling
dude,
people on coffee. I'm such a
Dude,
coffee
let me tell you
enthusiast.
what. Like, that's actually a campaign I haven't had an opportunity of doing so far. So, like, I'm gonna go after
For like this show,
every-
man. Like, come on.
Yeah, dude. Listen, like you were talking about two guys who guzzle black coffee, like fucking take it in from an IV. Yeah, most definitely. I'll be sending out some outreach.
And then
I can
and then
promise you
there,
that.
and then there's TD who just has 20%
It's
coffee,
milk,
80%
dude. It's like
milk and sugar.
90% milk or like 90% creamer and a splash of coffee.
Oh man.
Not the way to do it. I still got to get you on the Dunkin' train though, bro.
Man, that's gonna be tough to sell.
It's oh well. Well, you know what? When we're in Buffalo, I feel like we're gonna have to stop by Tim Hortons. Although that I'm sure you're familiar with Tim Hortons
Yeah, I
since
am.
you went to college out in that area.
I'm familiar with Tim
Thoughts
Hortons.
on Tim Hortons?
Tim Hortons is solid, man. I think it's definitely a step up. You know what's funny though? I gotta send you a video of when the Knicks beat the Celtics. There's a video that went viral, and it's just of all Knicks fans going crazy. And one of the main points of that video, which is hilarious, they're like, "Bleep Dunkin' Donuts," because Dunkin' was founded in Boston.
Oh shit!
So they were like hating on Dunkin' Donuts, like lighting a Dunkin' Donuts logo on fire, and just like hilarious. They're just like, "Fuck Dunkin' Donuts!" We're just like going nuts. I was thinking of you about that, but yeah, Tim Hortons is nice, just not a Dunkin', man. I just don't know.
Just not a Dunkin' guy. Well, I'll tell you what. So I mentioned Tim Hortons because we are going to be having an opportunity of being there in Buffalo. As many of you guys know, we are officially coming to Buffalo, New York for our first Roundtable Sports event in the area ever. And we're getting there on Tuesday. We already booked our Airbnb. It is awesome. We have already ended up securing Zbot and Rico, who are going to be a part of all the festivities already. And right now, where it stands, there is only 14 tickets left. 14 tickets left. That's it. That's insane, right? Because we've had several deposits, and that is what we were looking for. Folks, if this is the first time you have been hearing about it, and we haven't even really done like a huge official announcement. So
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow night.
this is kind of like your early preview. It is coming in with quite a bit of luxury here, folks. We have secured several tickets in the Caesars Sportsbook Lounge, some of the best seats in the stadium. It's absolutely beautiful. On top of that, we have reserved an entire area at Southern Tier Brewing in downtown Buffalo, where myself, Richie, TD, Colby, Zbot, and Rico will be there doing esque of a live show, hanging out with each and every single one of you. And all of that combined is $450. The beautiful thing about it is that, in my opinion, I think it's an absolute steal because as I've been perusing around ticket sales for the Caesar Sportsbook Lounge on SeatGeek, on several other reselling platforms, like they're going for like 956 bucks, like by themselves, individually sold or resold, excuse me. So it's a hell of a damn deal, Richie, and I would not be surprised if this ultimately ends up selling out by the end of the week.
Yeah,
So
and the
watch,
thing about this one,
you know,
man, like you said, it's it's the smallest amount of tickets we ever got for an event. They're very limited, and that's unfortunate, but that's what you got to be able to do to get premier seats like this. So if you want to come, now's the time, because if you wait, they're gonna get sold out, and we can't get more tickets. Like we talked to the Bills, we're like, we're gonna want more than just this amount of tickets. We got a big audience, but that's the only amount that we have. So tickets are very limited. So make sure you guys keep that in mind when you consider coming through. And we're excited because we're doing a live AFC's Roundtable in person, which you get exclusive access to only by buying the ticket through us the night before the game. So there's a lot of exciting things, man. I can't wait to see TD in Buffalo for the first. It's going to be funny.
Oh, yeah. When we get there on Tuesday evening, I'm definitely going to take y'all to some of my favorite wing spots. I'm trying to think what else we can do. We can figure something out, man.
Michael says Anchor Bar for wings. I've been to Anchor Bar, but I've heard some Buffalo people say that's not where you should go. So where's
not my favorite?
I've been to Duff's and Anchor Bar, but I heard that's like not the place to go.
So I feel like everyone that's basic from Buffalo is going to say Bar Bill, and it is really good. It is solid. I would probably have to say that it is Bar Bill. But in order for me to stay different, I love 911 Tavern in South Buffalo too. That is really damn good. Those smack. Same thing with Gabriel's Gate. Like that's solid. Like with Anchor and Duff's, they're okay. But like, look, like where I'm at in Florida, bro, like Anchor Bar and Duff's would absolutely clean house of anywhere within this town. Anywhere. Right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm talking top shelf in Buffalo area, probably goes Bar Bill. Then I go 911. Then I go Gabriel's Gate.
Yeah, they had a Duff's location open up in Rochester. So there was a Duff's 25, 30 minutes from me when I was in college. That was my go-to spot. I wasn't going into Buffalo all the time. And that was my experience of like, dude, I never had wings like this in my life. And then I went to Buffalo and I went to Anchor Bar and it was great, but I've never been to the places that you're bringing up. I went to a Travis Scott concert in Buffalo. Got some wings.
Oh, so we could even probably like do like say that we're there Tuesday night. Like maybe we could even think about like some other meetup or something less like super casual.
Yeah, come meet us. We're gonna be at this wing stop. Come by.
Yeah, we're gonna be at this wing spot or like this brewery somewhere in Hamburg or something along those lines. I do know that we are planning on doing some sort of tailgate meetup as well. That is still pretty strict in negotiations. We probably won't have any word on that until like July. But for those of you that are not planning on going with the tickets with us, stay tuned as well, because we want to make sure that we open up the opportunity to anybody that does want to have an opportunity of meeting us that weekend. We're going to do whatever we can.
Yeah, we're excited, man. I'm excited to be in Buffalo.
Buffalo, New York. Folks, smash that like button for us.
It's also going to be the first Roundtable event where the Jets are not involved, and it feels kind of good. I can just not stress out, see it from an objective lens.
Some quality seats, too, dude.
Great seats. I mean, you talk about the best seats in the stadium.
No.
We got club seating, bro. Really, if it rains, we're covered.
Yeah.
If it's a crappy weather day, we're protected by the elements.
Yeah, dude, we're going to be protected by the elements, like a perfect absolute view from it. Like have our own bathroom, which is ideal as well. But it's got to be nice. So, folks, buy your tickets if you are interested in doing so, and let's get into business. Right before we end up getting into some of these rule changes, of course, thanks to the Roundtable Sports X account, I was made informed of this, which is pretty interesting. Sounds like Shemar Stewart, our boy, friend of the show, right? He is still not participating in Cincinnati Bengals rookie exercises, OTAs, due to his lack of a contract. And it's not just him; it is also Demetrius Knight as well. That is
Demetrius
largely
linebacker.
He has also not been participating, not to the extent of what Shemar Stewart has been doing, but he has also been sitting out at certain areas. Both are pickups from the Cincinnati Bengals organization. Still haven't heard any news, of course, on Trey Hendrickson, although that we've been hearing murmurs that I think Cincinnati offered him close to 29 a year or something, and he still says that's not enough as far as longevity, etc. But further comments on this: Shemar Stewart still sidelined phase 2 of offseason workouts. Thoughts? Talk to me.
Yeah, I think the rookie deal is interesting. There's still some other draft picks that are unsigned. There's some weird offset language and stuff. This is always a topic, but it's not an issue because he will get his contract and he will be on the practice field eventually. It's just a matter of when, not if. This happens every year, so I'm really not going to overreact. I'm really not going to overreact on this yet. But him sitting out of rookie camp, that's where I was like, all right, bro. Every rookie participates in rookie camp, whether they sign the contract or not. Like, every single Jets draft pick was on the field for rookie camp. Not all of them were signed yet. Mason Taylor, our tight end from LSU, he's still not signed, but he's on the practice field. So I don't understand him not practicing. Like, it's normal for some draft picks to not get their contract right away, but it's not normal for them to sit out. Like, come on.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, it has something to do with the protections.
It's offset
right?
language.
Yeah, it's offset language, but specifically, it's something about the protections that for some reason Cincinnati never includes on their rookie contracts, but all of the other NFL organizations do, from last that I read. So he's concerned that he's going to get hurt and he's not going to be able to get paid, etc. Like during this. And then I think it was also him comparing what the rates were for who was the edge rusher that was drafted to the LA Rams. Was it Verse?
Jared Verse, yeah.
Yeah, it is somehow significantly less than what Verse made from the LA Rams, and they were drafted at the exact same position. So I think that's kind of like, okay, like what the hell are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
Does that feed into your take at all? Like, does that like help
It's-
you side with him a tad, or?
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals are just a weird... Yeah, I
They're
get
cheap,
it.
bro.
Yeah.
They're cheap.
I think that the
Cheap.
Bengals are known to be cheap, but then again, they paid Jamar and T. Higgins.
Bro.
So we'll see.
Dude,
Off topic,
go ahead.
but on topic, what we were talking about before. Are you ranch or blue cheese guy for your wings?
Blue cheese all day.
Yeah, this
all
guy
day.
says
I will not
ranch.
allow any of you to order ranch at any restaurant that we go to, not just for my reputation, but for your protection.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I will have
Dude.
to make TD grab blue cheese for his wings.
There's
Or
times where
smuggle in his own ranch if necessary, if he insists.
I agree. I'm such a big blue cheese guy where sometimes I'm like fiending for blue cheese so much where I go get wings just so I can have blue cheese. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah,
so
dude.
I drown. I drown. I only get
It's a
buffalo
sin, man. Like,
sauce. I
wings
don't need any
were-
other sauce other than buffalo. Like, give me the classic buffalo wings with blue cheese.
Wings were brought to this earth with the intention of dipping them in blue cheese, right? Like, that's like what it was. Like, that was how the founders ate their chicken wings. And it's a slap in the face to wing enjoyers all over the world if anybody doused them with that nasty ass dressing.
Yeah, man, that's perfect. I'm glad to hear that we're aligned.
Yeah.
I'm not from Buffalo, but I do consider myself a wing enthusiast, and I think that you, Dan, and Buffalo people would enjoy my homemade wings.
Really?
'Cause I make chicken wings homemade. I do it a very unique way. Yes, I do, and I make homemade buffalo sauce with it. I air fry them, and I bat them in cornstarch. I do the whole thing, man. I get them really crispy, and it's delicious. And it's not as good as buffalo wings from freaking Tavern, okay? But my wings are solid, and I'm known to be making some good chicken wings over here.
So what we got to do, so because we do need to think about short form content, like while we're at the tailgate and stuff, like you need to like whip up one of your batches of wings. And like we're just gonna pass them out to like
At the
drunk Buffalo
Airbnb.
fans. No, like at the tailgate, and like we're gonna be like, hey,
We'll make
rate
them
this
at the
wing 1 to
Airbnb and
10.
bring them in.
Yeah, most definitely some quality short form, some content
down.
out there, man. I'm really feeling it. I'm
down,
really,
man.
man. You know what? It is indeed wild. But anyway, let's go ahead and make a transition over to some of the specific rule changes. And this one where you were very inspired / adamant about was not changing the seeding of the NFL playoffs, right? However, it sounds that there is a bit of a tweak in the proposal, which they think it more than likely might pass. How it works out is that each and every single division winner is going to have a home game for the first round, right? However, that does not mean that they are going to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs if, for example, they ultimately end up, of course, advancing to the divisional round. Now, we were against it from the beginning where we just kind of wanted to have all of these like teams seeded out based off of record, but I think this is a solid middle ground. Does this make you feel a bit better about it, Richie, right? Like say that the 9-8 Houston Texans, for example, we'll just pick the Texans get the 4th seed and they're 9-8, right? They still get a home game to the 12-5, let's say Bengals or something along those lines. If they somehow beat the Bengals, the following week, if a team has a better record than them, they need to travel to them. Are you okay with this, or would you still prefer the home field advantage for the division?
I definitely think that they found a perfect middle ground for this because I feel like the home playoff game for a division winner means something.
Yeah.
And getting rid of that would have just been a nightmare for me. And the fact that that's staying in this proposal, and I think that's a deciding factor for a lot of people that are voting on this, the owners. So I like it. It gives the team like the Minnesota Vikings last year, they would have benefited from this. They would have been on the road in round 1, but if they won that game, they would have had a home field game in the divisional round, which makes sense. 100% makes sense. Like if you're a wild card team but have a really good record and better than some records at the 4th seed, you deserve to be benefited of the doubt. But that also protects like every single 4th seed gets a home playoff game, and I like that. Every single team that wins their division should host a playoff game in their home stadium. 100 million %. So I love it.
And some of the feedback we get from people is like, oh, like what about those odd years where a losing record team ultimately ends up winning their division? I feel like that's so few and far between, right? It's so few and far between, but I do think that there is typically a discrepancy between the 4th seed and the 5th seed, like almost each and every single year. In fact, I kind of want to like look at the past playoff matchups and see if there hasn't been a 3-game spread right between the 5th seed and the 4th seed as far as total wins, right? So I get it, makes fans happy, makes the owners happy, and that reseeding at the end just makes it that much more interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect middle ground, man. I really do think that's something where you needed to find a common ground. They did. So Tony comes in with a super chat. Dan, you know the drill. What drill do we know?
Brother.
Poor Bob. Everybody hit the Bob emojis in the chat. Bob emojis in the chat right now. Boom. Bob emojis. Boom.
There you go, brother. It's a little right hook right to the dome, man. That's a little right hook right to the dome. You already know what time it is.
For all the members, man, hit the Bob emojis. And hit the like button, man. We got over. I just want to give a shout out real quick.
Go ahead.
Because I'm noticing a very consistent amount of views on 4th and Forever, and I want to thank everybody that watches this show, and it's part of your daily routine, because you guys are part of something that's special, and I do not take for granted the people that watch our show, especially this one, since it's daily, and it's, I don't want to say redundant. Every talk show you turn on network is 5 times a week, right? So we're really trying to build our own 5 times a week type of show, and you guys are making it possible, and I appreciate you guys watching every single day. Dan, TD, and myself take this seriously. We're really trying to entertain you guys as much as we can in the middle of your days, whether you're on your work day, you're in the middle of a break, or commuting. I don't know what you guys are doing while we're watching here, but we appreciate you guys. Just want to remind you guys about that.
So I got to ask you, since you were a massive advocate for Jaxson Dart, right?
Oh,
Like maybe not so much now that he's on the New York Giants, but
damn it.
leading up into the draft, of course, you were a big dart guy, right? He's been throwing a lot of darts at camp so far, and granted, of course, it's shorts and t-shirts. It's really not real football for the most part. But I got to ask you, Richie, do you think that Jaxson Dart, the Dartinator, is going to take over as the starting quarterback for the New York Giants at any point this season? Or do you think that it's largely going to be the Russell Wilson show and he's just going to sit behind him regardless of how they play?
Well, first I want to say we got Wyoming Jets fans saying he misses wake up and ball. TD ran from the smoke because he's not into basketball as much as we would hope. So he wouldn't be able to talk ball like me. And the Knicks beat the Celtics, so he ran from it. But I hope Wake Up a Ball makes his return. That's the plan. So stay tuned for that. I appreciate you saying that. But you know what's funny, Dan?
Yeah.
So the Knicks are on their playoff run. You know who is embracing New York? Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is at these Knicks games like he's like a star in New York now, which I find hilarious.
Nice.
Like he's sitting courtside. He's wearing all Giants stuff. Like he's embracing like being the starting quarterback in New York. And I just find that interesting. When I was at the Knicks playoff game, I was actually sitting next to these people who are from Seattle. And one of the people were like, "Oh my God, look, do you know who that is sitting courtside?" I'm like, "That's Russell Wilson." They're like, "I know." They're like, Russell Wilson to them is like they're like king in Seattle apparently still to this day. You know,
He's their king.
Yeah, I mean, he won a Super Bowl with them. Anybody that wins a Super Bowl with your team, I bet you there's still Seahawks fans to this day that roots for Russell Wilson. I mean, and I thought that was interesting. So I'm curious. I feel like the story is Jaxson Dart, which it should be. But does Russell Wilson have some juice in him? Does Russell Wilson have an ability to kind of click? You know, like what if Russell Wilson, we're counting him out and they start, like Brian Dable's a good coach. Brian Dable took Daniel Jones to the playoffs, dude. Like what if Russell Wilson starts clicking and you look up and the Giants are winning games no one's expecting? Now, I'm going in a direction here that no one's really going with. Everyone's expecting the Giants to win 2 games. Jaxson Dart's going to be in the season late in the year. But I think the best course of action for the Giants is Wilson plays all year, Dart sits, and Wilson shows success. Like he succeeds. So he can pass over the baton to Jaxson Dart in year 2 with Brian Dable. I don't know, man. There's a different energy with Russell Wilson. He obviously, I think the injury last year really hurt him. I think him getting hurt in training camp and him starting off the season on the bench, and then him going into the year, Justin Fields goes 4-2, and then he kind of just like started off well. That didn't really happen. And then the Broncos was a really messy situation. I think now with Brian Dable and this Giants team, like he's got Malik Neighbors, who is a potential superstar wide receiver. Their defense is really loaded up front. So I'm not going to sit here and say the Giants are about to shock the world, but I'm really keeping a close eye on Russell Wilson, and I'm not going to just write him off as like, yeah, he's going to be trash just yet.
So I wonder about that offensive line, though, right? Because he's going behind an arguably worse offensive line than he experienced in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's offensive line was terrible. And now he's perhaps going behind the worst unit on the face of the planet. I probably have to agree with you. Don't put a rookie behind that offensive line. I could care less if y'all start off 0-10. Have you seen their schedule, Richie?
They have Greg Van Roten starting for them.
Yeah,
at right guard. Yikes.
Have you seen their schedule?
No, I have. They're not. Their home schedule is absolutely brutal, and they also happen to be the. Can we say the NFC East is the best division in the league now? Because, I mean, the Giants the Giants kind of make that not, but that's their division they're in, bro. Damn. But, bro, the thing about the Giants, bro, is look at their defensive line, dude. You got Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and Kayvon Thibodeau. If he can figure himself out, I mean, you're looking at one of the Darius Alexander, who was a sleeper in the draft. You're looking at arguably one of the best defensive lines in football with the Giants.
So if they can give Dangerous quality
Javon
ball,
their defense is pretty solid, man.
So say that they could take the football away or give them favorable field position like moonball territory for Russ Wilson, just throw it up right into the universe for neighbors? Maybe. But yeah, like absolute max. And so they're winning 5 games. But then again, like, do you think that Brian Dable's job is safe? Because I got to tell you what, and so the universe is not with this man right now, especially with their schedule, and especially with the
That's
fact
so
that
interesting. It's like, do you give Brian Dable the chance to develop Jaxson Dart or not? Because if you fire
Yeah.
Dable after this year without getting Dart on the field, then a new regime comes in and it's Jaxson Dart inherits a coaching staff that did not draft him. I don't know. I feel like it's interesting. Brandon Day says, Dan, you and Richie have great chemistry. Where's TD at with all his hot takes?
oh man, he does not have power in his house right now. He said he was sweating, a little hot, so him and the family went on a nice little air-conditioned drive. We get it, it's a solid excuse for the homie. But it's okay. He will be back. Have no fear. And it's the off season, man. Listen, like he's 40 years old, right? And sometimes TD just gets a little tired. Sometimes he just wants to take a little step back from the Roundtable sports side of things, and that's okay. All right, listen, we understand it's the off season for a reason, but we still get on here and we try to entertain you because we know that all of you are football fanatics and need to discuss ball when necessary. I see some people coming in saying, another rule change. What the hell? Well, I'll tell you what, he's probably talking about the Tush push. He's probably talking about the Tushy push, man, which is set to be voted on either today or tomorrow. We will know the fate of it. And the Green Bay Packers ultimately ended up changing the language because the first set of language was so clearly targeted toward the Philadelphia Eagles, where it literally said you cannot have a running back push the quarterback past the line of scrimmage. And they didn't like that specific language set. But now they ultimately ended up changing it to that nobody can assist a runner with advancing via whatever. So it's all across the field. And I have a feeling that it's likely going to get passed. Surprisingly enough, like you being able to assist a runner in general, like pulling, like I'm sure all of us have been like pounding the table. Like we love when our offensive linemen grab the running back or grab the rushing quarterback and drag him across. And so into the pylon or whatever for a touchdown. It absolutely makes us want to beat our chest. But surprisingly enough, that's already illegal. That is already illegal. It's been illegal for quite some time, but it hasn't been called on field since the playoffs of 1992, if I remember correctly. So largely what I think is going to happen, they're still going to ignore situations like that, and they're only going to call quote-unquote tush pushes with this. Now, will Philadelphia be able to adapt? I think so, right? Like you have a running back in Saquon Barkley on your squad. Say that Saquon Barkley can't get 1 yard. I'm not going to deny that man 1 yard from the line of scrimmage. Same thing with Jalen Hurts. Strong dude. I think that we have all said that the tush push success rate, a lot of the percentage I would have to grant over to the strength of the QB and the offensive line, and the person pushing has a very limited amount of a contribution, if you will. Richie, is this going to get banned? Talk to me.
Yeah, I think it has momentum too. And I think the pushing somebody forward makes a lot of sense of why you want to outrule that. Because you think a quarterback sneak, that's still possible. I mean, with this rule
it happens all the time.
I know. Yeah. Josh Allen is the king of it. It drives me nuts to this day. And there's also stance like the Bills, I know, do this, and I think the Ravens sometimes, where you kind of have a tight end come in motion, he goes under center, and he's the one that takes a snap and goes forward. Like that's a play that's still going to implement. You just can't push them from behind. So I think that it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be wild, man, when it comes into it. Because you know what? Like somebody in the chat was asking, hey, Dan, what do you think with our offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, is going to think about this? So for the most part, man, like a lot of the QB sneak doesn't really, like we don't execute it the exact same way as Philadelphia does. Like Philly does typically have a tight end behind him, and they do quite a bit of pushing. So where Josh Allen, a lot of the times, it's just him exclusively and that offensive line. But it's definitely a big part of the game. So for me, I think that it really has a lot of everyone gets a trophy type energy, right? It's like, oh, boo hoo, we can't stop it. Like, stop it, right? Like, there's no like evidence that some teams can't go on ahead and work to find an answer for it. And so the Kansas City Chiefs had a perfect answer for it last year during the AFC Championship. They stopped the tush push from Buffalo 3 times. So it can be done. And miss me with that whole thing, oh, it's player safety. Not a single recorded injury has come from that play since it has been. Now it's all just, it is completely theoretical. It is completely theoretical. So is what it is. We'll see how Philadelphia. I do think that it affects Philadelphia a hell of a lot more than what it affects Buffalo. So I will say
that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's transition. When do the OTAs is here, right?
They are. Yeah.
OTAs is here, and that gets me fired up, man. I love OTAs. I don't know about you. I'm a big fan of OTAs, and here's Aaron Glenn at OTAs, the new Jets head coach, dapping up his teammates.
Damn.
Man, I'm not going to lie, man. Aaron Glenn, AG, he fires me up, dude. It's like...
Fires you up, huh?
I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm not going to go off about it, but I don't know, man. The more I hear about Aaron Glenn and more I hear about people talking about him, and at the draft, I talked to former Jet Johnny Mitchell, Dan, and he was teammates with him, right? He was a teammate on the same team, and what he had to say about Aaron Glenn really fired me up. So there's a lot of things about OTAs that I'm excited about, and it's more all eyes for me is on Aaron Glenn.
All eyes are on Aaron Glenn.
And this was, in case you missed it, the interview I had with Mr. Johnny Mitchell at the draft. He was a teammate. He was a first-round pick with the Jets in 1992, tight end, and he was teammates with Aaron Glenn. So I asked him his thoughts on AG.
From Roundtable Sports here with former first-round pick of the New York Jets, Johnny Mitchell.
1992, 33 years ago.
And you were a teammate of Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn was drafted 2 years after me.
And can you quickly speak to Jets fans to kind of tell us a little bit about Aaron Glenn? Because he's obviously our brand new head coach, and we don't know so much about him. He's going into year number 1. What do you know about Aaron Glenn? What do you think he's going to bring to the table?
Well, the one thing, he wasn't the biggest guy, when we drafted him, but he was a hard worker. And everything he have earned, where his status are now as a head coach for the New York Jets, he earned that. He has earned. He wasn't given anything. So I personally feel what he went through as a player and what he learns from great coaches that he coached under, I believe the combination of that with his personality, you ain't gonna just, do what you want and get him fired like Aaron Rodgers. I didn't like how that went. I didn't like how that went last year. You ain't gonna do that. So he's gonna stand on his business, and he will get the most out of the Jets. I personally think the Jets gonna finish second place. I hope they finish first place, but it's hard with Buffalo right now. But I believe the Jets will finish second place.
Wild card berth in the playoffs or no?
Wild card, I think they will. I think they will take the position of what the Chargers had last year. The Chargers will fall back, and the Jets will get that spot.
Richie.
Whoa, bold prediction from Johnny Mitchell.
Bold prediction, man. Let me tell you what, though. So he didn't sound too confident about that wild card spot. He was just like, hey!
Well, he said second place, so I'm like, for second place, are we a wild card contention? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I think they will. Someone in the chat asked, somebody in the chat just asked if you were nervous during your interviews.
No, I wasn't. In that one in particular, it was no nerves. Do I get nerves in other interviews? Absolutely, I will admit that. But it's like exciting nerves. It's like, oh my God, Cam Ward, what up, bro? Johnny Mitchell is more fluid. And this next one, it's the same interview with Johnny Mitchell, and this one's short and sweet because I asked him about his thoughts about Justin Fields. And this guy is the most passionate I've ever seen in my life about Mr. Justin Fields being the Jets quarterback. So I'm curious to get your thoughts of this because I don't know if this is just delusional, like he's a former player, and he has some interesting points about Fields. So take a listen to this.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry, the audio was off.
What's your thoughts of Justin Fields? Last question for you, him at the quarterback.
Man, that is my favorite player, and he never had an OC. Listen, Jet fan, I'm a coach. The Bears never had a good offensive coordinator, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm sorry, but the offensive coordinator last year from Pittsburgh, I'm not a big fan. With the Jets and the opportunity he's getting, he's going to make the most out of it. What AG, Coach Glenn, saw in Justin Fields, I've been seeing it his whole career. He should have been the second quarterback pick. He should have went to the Jets. Now he's in his proper place. I see big things from Justin Fields and the New York Jets.
See, like, he's feeding my delusion, Dan, when I hear that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's not healthy for me.
Yeah. No, it's good, right? Because, like, I kind of have a hard time labeling somebody a bust when their environment has never been ideal, right? Like, that's why, like, I pump the brakes on specific players when I think that they get drafted into a situation that I think is not very good for their development. I do think that he has some upside, but then again, I feel like we will have an answer on him, right? Like, can he actually thrive with some quality weapons, some quality protection? We're going to have to see, man. Like, I'm not stamping Fields as a complete bust until I see what he looks like this year.
And I personally think the only way a guy like Fields can break out is one thing, given a real opportunity. And I think the Jets, like, Justin Fields should be so thankful. Like, the Jets are giving him every single reason to break out. The Minnesota Vikings gave Sam Darnold the same exact resources. The Buccaneers, like, you look at all these guys that failed and the teams that drafted him and then where they broke out, you got to give them the opportunity. And the Jets are not saying to Fields, oh, this is your job, but someone's behind you working and they're going to take your position. Like, no, you're the quarterback. We're going to build a system around you. And let's see what you got. 2-year contract. We're not committed to you long term. If you go out there and ball out, we'll talk contract extension. So this is his last chance, Dan, too. If Justin Fields wants to be a starting quarterback in this league, this is his only opportunity, in my opinion. And I think he knows that.
Yeah. It's definitely his last ditch effort. Like, that's for sure. And you know what? It does kind of raise the question to me. Like, what quarterback out there is going to take that Sam Darnold mold this year? I think you're going to want it to be Justin Fields. But say that it's not.
But right? I feel like is there another quarterback that's in that position like Justin Fields?
So I try to think of QBs that
like
I'm normally on, right? That, like, I typically speak out against. And I say, like, this guy's an absolute bum, right? I think Trevor Lawrence is one of them, right? And he probably shouldn't, right? Because he's always been the starter. I feel like I can also agree that he has had less than an ideal situation in Jacksonville with a carousel of offensive coordinators, a carousel of head coaches. But, man, if he doesn't do it this year, I don't want any of the injury excuses. He better live up to it or total waste of money. Like, I was a huge advocate of why in the hell did this fool get paid, right? Because if you were a first overall pick, like, you should, to a degree, still be able to elevate regardless of shit offensive coordinator play, right? And I hate to put Josh Allen right into this conversation, but even though Ken Dorsey was absolute ass, he was still putting up numbers. Like, he was winning despite Ken Dorsey. And I feel like that's not excuses that a first-round quarterback should have. And that's what I feel like a lot of Jags fans have kind of been putting into the whole.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect guy to talk about with this. I think getting an offensive-minded head coach in this building, which Doug Peterson was, but it's a new, fresh mind. BTJ is a stud. You draft Travis Hunter. You got talent, playmaking, and you got solid protection. Like, I don't think this is a roster that's bad. So I agree. Trevor Lawrence is the guy that needs to, because right now we think of Trevor Lawrence as he's not bad, but he's also not good. You know, it's like he's not trash, but he's not good at all. I'm excited for it, and I think that there's another quarterback I'm keeping an eye on. It's the Indianapolis Colts, Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson.
Daniel Jones is a sleeper.
Who's winning? Who's the QB1 for the Colts this year? That's what I want to ask you.
It's got to be Daniel Jones.
He's gonna beat Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, it's a hot take. Yeah, it's a hot take. I think that Steichen, like right as the head coach, knows that he probably should have been fired this past offseason, right? Like he knows his seat's getting hot, and I think that he needs to make some sort of crazy play. And I also think that Steichen has shown so many signs, right, that like he doesn't necessarily view Anthony Richardson as his guy since like he would start Flacco, like right with the times where Richardson was technically ready to go. Yeah, dude.
So Daniel Jones.
I think Daniel Jones is going to beat him out, not particularly because he's doing better. Like, he's been apparently doing really good in training camp.
Yeah, I think objectively Daniel Jones is better than Anthony Richardson, like straight up. So
yeah,
Daniel Jones has shown way more than Richardson has done thus far. And you can argue Daniel Jones is like not as good, but like can match Anthony Richardson's mobility. Like Jones can run, like and that's all Anthony Richardson can do is run. Like that's really all he can do. DF Forever says like, share, subscribe. Need I say more? Well, thank you very much, DF Forever. Extremely, extremely kind of you, man. Extremely kind of you for the $2 super chat. Much love to you. Guys, we have an NFC West Roundtable show tonight. If you guys want to support the NFC West Roundtable, that would be awesome. We are planning our first ever event potentially in LA, man, and we're hopeful that can happen. So if you guys want to go support the NFC West Roundtable, that'll be live tonight at 9 p.m. EST. AFC East Roundtable live tomorrow night as well. We do got to run because I do got a meeting to get ready for.
Oh.
So let's wrap up this show now, Dan.
I'll tell you what, man. I love to hear it. Folks, again, you making Fourth and Forever a part of your daily routines means so much to us. It's wild. We're live Monday through Thursday now, no longer on Fridays at 2 p.m. EST, bringing you all of the latest NFL news, rumors, etc. So please do us a favor, smash that like button. It is the easiest way to show love on this channel. When you subscribe, make sure you turn on bell notifications. And Richie, what do you got to say to the audience before we let them go?
Yeah, man, much love to everybody. To make this a part of your daily routine, OTAs is here. So that's the next topic that we'll be getting into. All the teams around the NFL go into their off-season workouts and all that fun stuff. So we appreciate it. I got a lot of exciting things up the sleeve for you guys on behalf of Roundtable Sports. Knicks Media live watch party will be on tomorrow. And yes, after the AFC East Roundtable. And I'll be doing a Knicks Media show with Jake Asman tomorrow. So a lot of fun things happening. We'll see you guys then. Peace out, everybody.
Peace, guys.